Hello everyone, Q here, and today I'll go ahead and do my top Transformer figures that I purchased for my collection in 2019. These are my own personal figures that I have purchased for my collection. These are also my opinions. I understand opinions vary. However, this is my list, and please let me know if you have any of these yourself, if you went with different options. If so, why? All right, let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so runner up on my list, here we have Fans Toys Jabber. In my opinion, pretty solid figure. Pretty good articulation. I'm showing him in this horribly stoic pose, I know. I could have come up with something a little better, potentially. Hopefully that's a little better. But anyways, otherwise pretty good figure. I think the paint looks good. The articulation is pretty solid. There's some odd choices in terms of his build, such as this one-piece crotch / cod piece type thing that he's got going on, which keeps the articulation being better than it being as good as it could, in my opinion. Limited articulation in the shoulders in terms of going out to the sides, and some various other odd choices. But other than that, I think it's a pretty good figure, and it definitely gets a runner-up spot in my opinion. All right, so I'm going to go from my least favorite to my number one favorite, starting with number 5, Fans Toys Spoiler. I really dig this figure, and I really like how it turned out. I like the shape of him. I like the design. The paint looks good. The transformation for me was fun. I know some people haven't been really enjoying the transformations from Fans Toys these days, although I've got to say I have been. I have thoroughly enjoyed these, and I can't wait to get my hands on the rest of this set. But I like his design. I like his aesthetic. I like the way he looks. And as much as I appreciate what DX9 has done with their version, this is indeed my favorite version of this character by any company as of yet. So there he is, Fans Toys Spoiler, for my number 5. All right, number 4 on my list goes to Magic Square's Light of Freedom. I really like this figure. It really turned out great. I've had a lot of fun with it. And in my opinion, at his price point, he is the best third-party Optimus Prime figure made. And I know some of you like the transform element. I don't own it. I did have a chance to mess with it a little bit, and I do like it. However, out of the two, this one does edge out as my favorite. So this is the one I ultimately went with. But again, I know a lot of people have been praising MP10, or MP44, excuse me, stuck on the MP10 train. MP44, I have handled that figure. It is superior. However, for me, not at its price point. At its price point, in my opinion, this is, again, my opinion. So don't get your feathers in a ruffle over what I'm saying here, because you can have a different opinion. You can defer, and that's okay. But for me, this is the best representation of Optimus Prime for its price. All right, next on my list, probably not a surprise to many of you, here we have Fans Toys Maverick, their version of Silverbolt, the leader of the aerial bots. Again, fantastic figure. Good hardware. This thing weighs a ton. His articulation is really good in my opinion for his size and his shape. The paint's fantastic. The likeness of the character for me is pretty much spot on. And even with his backpack, which some have criticized, I don't think it's that bad. I think it looks quite good. And I know some people have critiqued the transformation of this guy, but I found it fairly enjoyable. You just can't be in a rush. That's one thing I've learned about Fans Toys, especially with their transformations lately. You just can't be in a rush. If you're in a rush, it's going to be a pain. It's going to be frustrating. But for me, if you're the kind of person that likes to just take your time, not rush things, enjoy, what could be a long, somewhat complicated transformation, then it's not that bad at all, actually, as far as I'm concerned. But there you go, Fans Toys Maverick. All right, for my number 2 spot, here we have Zeta's Kronos, their version of Superion. Now, some people may disagree, and you're welcome to. However, for me, Superion does count as one figure. I know this is a combiner and several components make up this big, beautiful beast. However, for me, this is the number 2. I love this figure. I love how it turned out. I love the sturdiness of it and the likeness of the character. In my opinion, Zeta knocked this out of the park. And I just hope that in spite of all the things that have taken place with Zeta lately, that they're able to continue to build these amazing combiners and to continue filling these holes in our collections with such fabulous pieces. And for my number 1 spot, which I don't think will be a surprise for anybody, but in my opinion, well deserved by this figure, as I'm trying to get some of the dust off of it before I reveal it, because I'm overdue for a dusting. But here he is, drum roll please, none other than the one, the only, the bot, the myth, the legend, Fans Toys Road King. Now, I know there have been other iterations of Motormaster from other third-party companies to hit the market lately, but for me, this is it. This is the epitome of what Road King could be, what he should be, a perfect figure representation of this character. And I know some people will disagree. Some people are going with Gravestone. Some people are liking Capone. And that's all well and fine. People critique this backpack. You have that right. It's your opinion. But in mine, what Fans Toys was able to do with this figure, to compact everything the way they did and have it be so cohesive and so functional for what it does and is, to me, is beyond fascinating. I've never seen any other third-party company quite do what Fans Toys has done with this particular release. And I look forward to completing the rest of the Stunticons, to building their Minosaur. I know there's some concerns, and I know some people are worried about how it's going to hold up under all the weight, being that Fans Toys like to use so much die cast. And I will agree, it's occurred to me as well. And I have thought about that, but I don't have any concerns. I think it's going to be just fine. I think it's going to be a big, heavy combiner, but I think they're going to put the right hardware and the right balances and checks in the right places where this thing isn't going to topple over or crumble under its own weight. Of course, no one knows for sure until it's built. However, for me, if Road King here is any indication of the direction they're going in terms of its engineering and its build quality and its stability, I have nothing to worry about. So there you go. There's my number 1 spot for figure of 2019. So there you have it. There's the figures. There's my purchases for 2019 from worst to best for my collection this year. Obviously, your lists are going to be different. Obviously, there's going to be someone that disagrees, and you're more than welcome to. For what you have purchased in 2019, or figures that you have handled or reviewed if you do reviews, leave a list down in a comment of what you choose to be the best. What were your best purchases? What is it about my list that you disagree with and why? Or do you agree with it? And if so, why? I look forward to seeing what your lists are, what you have to say about my list, and all other opinions. Okay, it's all welcome, and I look forward to seeing it. I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch this and for checking it out. I look forward to seeing you all in 2020. Hope you're having a happy holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate or don't. I wish you all the best in 2020, and I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. Also, too, I do have a new channel you might be interested in. I'm not going to message, again, I'm not going to say exactly what it is here, but down in the description below, if you would like to search and check that out, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you find it interesting and you find anyone else that you think might enjoy it, please feel free to share it with others. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in 2020. Take care, everyone.